Good morning. So today I'm going to be looking at Bombas Company, and I'm going to be looking at their key performance indicators and kind of get an idea of how their performance is doing in certain areas and what can call for an improvement. So to do this, I first have this information right here. Let me find it. Here we go. So this is all of the data. It's very all about the numbers here, which is important because at the end of the day, that's what counts. So we have all of our states here with the postcodes, dates of registration, and last site visit. So it can be important to understand if people are returning back to the sites and things like that. So we've got number of site visits, product page views, things like that, because sometimes you have people looking at the products but they don't actually place an order, and the order is what's going to bring in the revenue. So what I did here was I copied and pasted this into Tableau. I'm going to open it up here, and this was my data source right here. I cleaned it up with the data interpreter, and then I started creating my data. So what is cool about this is I personally like this format for a lot of my data, but you can really change it up. Move it here. Like here, you can look at it by the maps, and it'll show you, depending on how concentrated the color is, how the sales are going. And if you line your mouse over it, it will tell you. So California over here, I don't know why it's all the way down here, but California has 326 items purchased. Illinois has that many, whatnot. So I'm going to go back to this. And you can see consistently in all of these that New York and California are kind of at the top. What I noticed is that some places these spots interchange, and while New Yorkers tend to visit the site more, which can be seen here, they visit 283 times versus 157 times, so that's quite a big jump from California. Here, however, if you look in sheet 1, let's see if I can get this. Californians are the ones that are making more of the purchases versus New York at 229 and 326. So while New Yorkers are visiting the site, they're not really having as much of an order go through. I mean, they are still doing more so than the rest of the states, but I see that California, New York, and Texas seem to be the main retailers here, as you can see. And even here, I did it differently here. But you can see California here is at 119 orders placed versus New York at 86. And then Texas actually not too far behind at 69. So those are the bigger things. My theory is, New Yorkers are visiting the site so much more, but they're not looking at the products. They're going onto the website and they're becoming like, they're not as interested as Californians are. And I can know that because with the product, this is to see what this is. This is the number of times things are added to the cart. Obviously, California is higher because they're making the purchases. This right here is the number of product page views. So when you're looking at the specific products, New Yorkers are just not doing that. They're going on the website, but they're not looking at the specific products more than California. So something on our main page of the website is not keeping them as interested. And I think it's good to focus on New Yorkers because they are one of our higher sells, and we should try to keep them at least on par with California. So when I go on the website, I notice, lots of color and cuteness. I know that New Yorkers love black. They love simple, and perhaps these styles are just not as deterred, or they're not as geared towards those types of individuals. These are very light colors. They're beachy. They're pastel. So it would be kind of nice to maybe interpret more like neutral colors, like neutral items. I think they would sell well. They could go with their corporate suits and whatnot. That's my theory about it, and you can see that with these key performance indicators in the Tableau. We could also, if we wanted to, look at more of these smaller areas, but honestly, I think these tend to just follow suit with our bigger cities, in my experience. So I would just want to, like, you know, keep New York CY. Their sales are not as high as their website views. And like I said here, you can like definitely use different modes of views, which are very helpful to kind of interpret this data. Obviously, not this one, but yeah. So that is what I learned.